Hello everybody, welcome to our fabulous new die collection, Blissful Haven, and these are just adorable characters, they really are. Now, doing a little bit of a demo, I'm going to do a standalone card, so I'm using the actual dies to make the card shape as well, because I've not done that for a while. So to start it all off, we have our lovely Bunny Burrow. So this is where those fabulous little characters live. This is their home where they all you can just imagine the chair in there, can't you, and that crackling fire. So this is all of what you're getting. But as always, two red robins really do this really well. You're not just getting that one side. Let me turn it over. There we have nested shapes. So this is really going to help your projects build on that perspective. So whether it's in the foreground, the midground or the background, you've got one for every occasion. So that's where we're starting, where the bunnies actually live. Then we've got I'm all booked, and I do love a real book, let's say. I have my ebooks, but you know, they have a time and place, but to have an actual book is fabulous. So we have our stack of books, but again, not just one. We've got them all nested for you. So we've got 2, 4, 6, 7 of them on there for you. It's teeny weeny ones as well. So you can really help with the perspective of where you're actually going to place the little pile within this one as well. So they work beautifully together. Aren't these adorable? So this is the first of our little characters. We've got Honey, Dolly and Carrot. Of course, there's a little rabbit called Carrot. Aren't they just the cutest? So these are our 3 youngsters, and they're swifted. So you're not going to lose any of those dies, so that you haven't got to contend with tiny weeny ones. So again, they're our first of our characters. Then we go on Light My Fire. And I do know that the reflections for this, so this is all year round. So imagine now we're building stories, okay? We've got the chair that's coming up with Arthur in a second. We've got the Christmas tree. So all of these collections really are all year through. So we've also got them without that fire in. So it's just the actual stone. So again, all year round, you can have this in your projects. Also nested, okay? So again, think about your perspectives with your projects. Then we have Arnold. Isn't he just, I love this character. I love him. So you can use him with or without the chair. So he's got the most adorable comfy chair. You know, if that was in a room of chairs, that would be the chair you'd go to and sit in. Well, it would be for me, just because it's like it's almost like somebody's bedded it in for you already. You know what I mean? It's got that little bit of wear on it. And you know it's going to be comfy. So here we have Arnold and his chair. But you don't have to use him in the chair. How about putting Arnold leaning up against his outside of his house, or have him leant up against that stack of books as well? So again, lots of ideas for you. So there's Arnold, and then we have Not Too Bright. And again, with this one, we've given you 2 different sizes. So we've got the big one that could stand on the floor next to Arnold and his reading lamp, or we've got the smaller ones that could stand on a stack of books or on one of your tables or something in your designs. So then we've got our log basket. And of course, when you've got a beautiful fireplace that we've got, we need a stack of log basket. But again, it's nested. So we're keeping that going, that you can actually build those perspectives. Look here, we've got Olivia and Ollie. Aren't they beautiful? So here we've got Olivia. She's in a beautiful rocking chair with a reading book, of course. And Ollie actually sits on her knee. Could be sat on the floor, or he could be sat in Arnold's chair. You never know. Or you could have 2 of them, so they could be twins sat together listening to the story. So here we're now making those stories. And then we have Evangelina. Isn't she just the prettiest? Okay, so a beautiful artwork on a dress and that lovely floral in her hair. She is adorable. So she is actually the last of the characters for the collection. So when you actually get this, I keep referring to reflection. I've brought these in and I've shown you these little images. So this is what we talk about when we talk about a reflection. And when you actually get your die, go onto Highlight Crafts website, onto our actual website itself, not YouTube or anywhere, onto the website, type in Evangelina and you will see this come up. Or alternatively, on the back, you always have a TR number here. So that's the code of the die. So you could type that into the search and you'll find her at this as well. Okay. She will come up as an image exactly as she is. Scroll down that page and you will eventually see an A4 sheet of lots of Evangelinas all on here. So we fill them and we put as many on an A4 sheet as we possibly can. So then that is a reflection. Now we have one of the most questions that what do we print it on? Well, it's printed on 250 GSM. That's our lovely pure print. Again, Highlight Crafts, that's where you're going to get this from, highlightcrafts.com. And then also your printer settings. Now, the two main questions that we get asked is that it's not fitting properly. Well, there are printer settings here that we have. One of our printers, we have to change the settings because it comes up at 98% every single time, and it goes back to that every time you've printed. So we change that to 100%, okay? So we change the percentage on our printer to get it to fit right. Now, if you're printing at 100% and it's still not right, you will have to do it at actual size, okay? So it's one of those two actual settings on your, when you go to print, so you go to your printer settings and it comes up, you can change the actual setting in there, okay? So it's either 100% or actual size, majority of our printers. Then all you have to do is lay your die over the top until it disappears, which is super easy. So let me just get the lovely Arnold. Like so. And I place Arnold on, turn him round, and I'm going to slide that die over the top until that image disappears, okay? So that's now gone, okay? There's no bleed. You don't have to guess and kind of get in the middle, and there's no bleed on these, so it makes it super easy for you to actually get it where you need it to be. Low tack tape, tape it down, pop it through your die cutting machine and cut them out. It couldn't be any easier. So now there's no colouring in involved. We don't have to sit colouring in. You can if you want to, if that's what you like. But now it makes everybody the same. So a few things that I want to show you is that I've done my stack of books and I've cut the biggest one, but I've also cut another layer at the back. Now this is going to be the back of my card. So that is actually going to make my card blank. I've cut out some extras. But one thing I want to share with you is the actual cutting, okay? Now, I'm going to start cutting out on this basket of logs. I've cut two of the same because I'm creating my own decoupage. Even with the nested shapes that don't have any snip lines, it doesn't stop you creating your decoupage. You can still do this. Now, one of the things that you'll see is that I'm holding with a H, my scissors at 45-degree angle, okay? I've got them at an angle like that. And I'm going to use and move my cardstock, okay? I'm just opening and closing my scissors, but it's the card I'm actually moving while I'm cutting. I'm cutting it like this because if you imagine this is much thicker and it's a piece of wood and you were going to saw through it, if you saw and cut that way, you're going to see that edge, aren't you? Yeah, you're going to see that edge and it will be white or coloured or anything. If you want that edge to disappear, you cut it that way. So when I've cut this, I'll show you the white edge on the other side. So now I'm cutting as if it was a die. By holding my scissors at a 45-degree angle, it means that I'm mimicking the die actually putting that bevel edge in, okay? So that's the piece I'm going to use, and you can't see a white line on there, okay? There's no white edge. If I bring this in, So let me show you. No white edge on there because I've cut at that 45-degree angle. If I bring this in, you can see a white edge all around there. Yeah. And that's because it was the other way, okay? So that's the offcut. That's what I'm getting rid of. So you can see that white line. So by holding your scissors at 45 degrees and cutting that way, you eliminate that white edge. So I'm going to put a little bit of tape on this one for now. And I'm going to mix up my mediums. You can use your 3D glue gel, which is just fabulous. It is my favourite thing to do when I'm doing decoupage. What I tend to do when I'm doing the decoupage is that I'll do it all in one go. And then I leave it overnight for it to set properly. And it's only when I start building the decoupage that I would then use it again to assemble what project I'm making. But it also means that by using the 3D, you've got time to change it, and you can lift it up and tuck in, etc. So that's why it's one of my favourites. So now I'm going to lay this on top. So what I've done, if I've put tape on the decoupage piece, and here I've actually put my just normal wet glue, my pin flare, because by doing that, I'm going to hover over there like that, stick that down, and then I'm going to just lay that back on. I know we cut it off, but it means that when I look at my decoupage, my basket is 3D, so I can now tuck inside here if I wanted to. So my little bunny rabbit can sit in there if I wanted her to. Sat on top of the logs. So all the way around, comes back, but then it smooths back in, and it's like a seamless blend, let's say. So that is my little basket, and now we can start building. So this is the back of my card, okay? I'm going to make sure that is flat, and I'm just going to fold over like so. So I've got a straight edge here as well. So I've used my mat to create a straight edge. Now, lots of different things going on here. I've got my finger lift tape, I've got my glue gel, I've got foam, I've got all sorts. So I know when you're all working at home, maybe you want to go onto Highlight Crafts and have a look at all the glue bundles and things that may be on there. Especially if you're buying the dies, it's always good to add in, because I believe, I can't quite remember what percentage it is, and then you get free postage. I think it's over 20. So if you've got, so if you're in the club and you spend over £25, because I know you will be in the club, okay? So you're getting all your points. So if you've spent £21 and something, it's always a good idea to go and look for maybe a bottle of glue or something, add it in, because then your postage is free, which is amazing. So now I've decoupaged one of my layers up. So all I did was snip off that top layer of books, and that's my book now. Okay, so that's my card blank. Yeah, that's what I'm now building from. That's my building blocks. So I've got my lovely chair. So my chair is going to come in here. Okay, I've got my characters. I've got my basket. Now with my basket, I'm going to extend out. Okay, I want this card base to be bigger. So I'm going to put a little bit of tape here, because what I've done is I auditioned that first, and I thought, right, okay, working with the mat, that's straight. I'm quite happy with where that is, and I want that overlapping. So there we have the basket, okay? Again, keeping an eye on where my lines are for my mat. And then I have my little chair and Arnold. Now, he is adorable. Now, there's no decoupage police, and you can do your decoupage as many layers as you want, but I generally do 3. Minimum is 3. So there's my whole one. My second one, I've snipped along round the bottom of his waistcoat and taken that layer away, so that will sit on there. Now, on my third layer, first of all, the first thing I do is I snip that piece away, so I'm just working with this, okay? So I've got the same. Now I look at this piece and think, where can I go with this? Now there's nothing stopping you on your third layer. You don't have to just snip around the collar. You can split your pieces, all right? So we've got a whole one, snipped away the legs, And then on this one, I've taken the arm, shoulder and buck, and then the head and the collar. So it means that I've removed that waistcoat. So if you think about where the layers, so his feet, I've taken his feet away because he's coming towards me. This arm is going to be the closest thing to me, okay? Then I've taken his arm and his head again, because again, when he's sat in his chair and his orientation, it means his arm's closest to me. So that's how I work with my layers. But I just wanted to show you that when you're doing your layers, you can split them up and do different pieces if you wanted to. Okay, and then a little bit of tape there, and we can assemble Arnold, and then we can pop him on his chair. Now, when I've done the decoupage on the chair, I've tried to do it that when he sits in his chair, his arm or his elbow rests on the chair arm. So again, while I'm doing this and I'm building the project, I'm actually looking to see where I can get, I think, right, if he sat there and he was in front of me, where would he have his elbow on? Would it be the chair's big enough for him to be sat back and his arms are within the armchair? So it helps with the story as well. Now, and also because I've chopped that like that, there is nothing now stopping me if I'd got one of the little ones where they could be sat on his knee in between him and the book, especially with a little tiny character. Ollie, I believe he is. So there we are. He's now going to be positioned on the chair. And then we can finish off the card. So, oops. Pop that back on there. So when I bring the chair in, keep my fingers out of the way. Because I've got that layer, see, because I've cut into his arm, don't know if you can see it very well, the gap between those two layers of his elbow and the layer that I've put on the chair, can you see? I've put, if I move my fingers out the way, I've got a layer of his armchair there. I can now slide his elbow on top like so. So he's really sat down in the chair, his legs are over the top and his elbow is on the arm of the chair. And that's just by doing a few little cuts. So now bring in the card blank. I need to position him like so. But again, I'm extending this. I want this to be bigger. So I've done my mats and layers of my decoupage for this one. And with the books, all I've done is cut two out of the same. And I've just cut maybe a layer of books off. But those books haven't gone anywhere. I've saved them all. Got a little plastic bag somewhere. It is here. Full of all my offcuts of my decoupage pieces. Because I would use them somewhere else. Even if I've got the chair and it's sticking out from somewhere else. Okay. Now we can put Arnold in place because I've extended out with the books. And I want to add some books a little bit further up. So I'm going to make the card blank taller as well as wider. So there's our lovely Arnold sat amongst his books. We have some cute little characters. So I'm not sure of the two. So she's going to be stood there. This is Carrot. Okay, I love Carrot. And that can sit here. So again, extending out what we've already got going on. Okay. So those books can tuck in behind there, like that. But it also gives me a little bit more extra room to be able to put our lovely Carrot character. And I'm going to place her where she's just as if she's sat on that book listening. And then this one, a little bit of wet glue across the bottom. That might be a little bit too much. that is now going to extend my stack of books. And this cute little character has been exploring, whether it be Arnold's study, but she's now sat on those books at the top, also listening to that story. So let me clear all of that out the way. And there we have, just need that to set. So when that is set, there we go. And here we have, look, we've got a super little characters. How adorable are they? So they're all sat around Arnold in his comfy little reading nook. He's got his basket, because obviously he will have got a fire in there, but this is just a snippet of what is happening within that scene. And we've got them all sat around on the piles of books listening to Arnold telling his story. So beautiful, beautiful collection. We are super excited to see what it is that you do with this. Like and share. So give us a thumbs up on our YouTube, and also we want to see your posts and your creations on our Facebook and Instagram pages too. So we'll see you all again soon, and don't forget to share your makes.
If you want to see more from Highlight Crafts, make sure you click the like button, subscribe by clicking the subscribe button below, and click the bell icon to receive notifications of all of our future content. You can also click here to see our latest video, or click here to see more videos like this one.